Hey guys, I'm Venom 2 million, and we got some Amazing Spider-Man 2 news. We got quite a bit, so sit back, relax, and let's get it started. Thanks for letting me know every time I'm filming it does this. So first of all, I'm gonna start off with the small news, and I'm gonna gradually work my way up. Everything will be in the description. I'm not editing this video because there's nothing for me to put in. So yeah, everything will be in the description. We got Spider-Man on a magazine. People care. Well, there's actually a small picture of Harry Osborn and Andrew Garfield, Peter Parker, and Oscorp. Harry's like sitting at a desk, I'm guessing acting like he's in charge, and Peter's like, cool. Yeah, so now let's get on to the important stuff, the stuff that we care about. Alright, so first of all, on Spider-Man's movement, there's talking about with the stunt coordinators and everything. They're talking about a whole bunch of stuff. They're talking about Spider-Man's movement, talking about a whole bunch of stuff. They talked about Paul Giamatti and how he doesn't really have that many stunts. It's more performance-wise, so we can think about that. He's not actually moving. It's more with his face and how he acts. This is acting. That's cool. When talking about Emma Stone, they said Emma Stone is in this movie a little bit more than she was in the previous one. She actually has some action too. Whatever, she has some action, so it's more making sure she's comfortable and just stuff like that. She has some action. It says Spider-Man is fighting. There's a lot more one-on-one fights in this movie. Spider-Man's fighting thugs and stuff, and yeah. On the tone of the film, he said the film is not taking itself too seriously. The film is very lighthearted and fun. I have 2 little children and they love it. They live for Spider-Man. So you can take that how you want to take that. I don't know how to take that. I don't know. The trailer kind of gave that vibe that it wasn't going to be like completely dark, which is great. It doesn't need to be dark. Just have it grounded, have it be serious when it needs to, and then be fun when it needs to. So that's really much it. This interview will be in the description. That's with the stunt coordinators. Okay, now we're going to get to talking about something very, very, very interesting. All right, so there was an interview with Avi Arad and Matt Taumick. Okay, these are the producers of the Spider-Man movies at Sony. Okay, they're talking about shooting in New York. They were talking about a whole bunch of stuff. So listen to this. I'm going to read you some of this. So when talking about New York, Matt Taumick said, New York is beautiful. It's the home of Spider-Man, so it's great. There's a lot of traffic and a lot of angry people, which we have to navigate. There's a lot of people, but it's the home of Peter Parker. We're from California, so it's a long way to come, but on a day like today, we realize that it's a gift to be able to be here and give the movie that authenticity that comes right out of the comic book. Listen to what Avi Arad says. He said, New York is actually a character. If we have Peter Parker, New York is a character. The Daily Bugle, the Empire State Building, everything about New York has been adopted for the character of our movie. That makes it all worth it, right? Then Matt Taumick jokingly says, almost, there was some long cold nights where we had to remind each other that it was worth it. We sit there and huddle and say, this is worth it. Okay, now, let's scroll down a bit. Something else they were talking about. Listen to this. So when talking about when this movie picks up, they said it takes place like shortly after the first film. Shortly, a year, guys. It's taking place. I mean, he says shortly. Now, I know people are going to be in the comments. I already know what y'all about to say. He said shortly. A year is not short. I already know what you guys are going to say. But think about it this way. Amazing Spider-Man 1, when did that take place? In terms of him being a senior. When did that take place? Was it at the beginning of the school year or at the end? I'm going to say it was more towards the beginning of the school year. That is what I'm gonna say. Could be middle, but I really want to say more towards the beginning. This movie is him graduating from high school. So that's some months, 8 months roughly. You know, it's been some time. So when talking about the beginning of the movie, Matt Taumick says, without giving away the story, it literally starts with an enormous thing. And that's one of the things we wanted to do with this movie. It's just bigger, brighter, more. We're taking it to heights you've never seen before in a Spider-Man movie, and we do that right from the opening gun. Avery Arrett said, this is a Q&A movie. So you saw the first one, and it worked really well establishing the characters. But the second movie allows us to hear your questions and to take them into consideration as the script is being developed. I think the main thing in the original movie was that Peter Parker wasn't given enough choices. In this movie, we had the opportunity to challenge, say, okay, you are who you are now. You are who you are now. Can you handle it? Do you own it? And because he does own it, it becomes not only an incredible adventure and bigger, as Michael was saying, but also full of humor. Who is Mike? I guess Matt? I don't know. But also full of humor. You're going to be laughing. We have people like Paul Giamatti in this movie. Matt also says, let me pick up on something he just said, which is spot on. We felt a real obligation in the last movie to tell the origin story of this new Peter Parker. We're sort of free of that. In some ways, this is a Spider-Man story. We left you in the last movie to answer your question. Peter had decided to be all things. He was going to be Spider-Man. He was going to have that girl. That's the territory this movie delves into. Okay, so then Avery Arrett says, no one can be all things, as we all know. So then the question is, when you were interviewed for the first film, you said it was about what is Peter's problem? Has that problem been solved? And do we ever want that to be solved? Every movie is about a main character, that complexities they face and the complexities that they face. But this is a Peter Parker story. And as we were just saying, when we left you in the last movie, Peter said, you know what? I'm going to break the promise. I'm going to be Spider-Man and I'm going to have the girl. And I think, as we all know, as Avery said, life doesn't always work that way. You can't always have all things. So immediately, Peter's going to be faced with some massive choices in this movie. So yeah, it's another Peter Parker story about what he faces and when he tries to have everything. Take that how you want. Avery Arrett then says, it's also like real life. We all run into problems. Some of them get solved immediately, some don't. Nothing is taken care of forever. You get hungry, you eat something. 4 hours later, you're hungry again. So for someone like Peter, he's unique, but he shares with the world something we all go through. That's what makes it such an incredible family action romantic. It's about normal decisions that we have to make at one time or another. And for a kid, these decisions are really tough. So there are no resolutions, but making inroads. Matt Tomic then said, time is a real theme in this movie. You have to make decisions in life sometimes. You don't have forever to debate your issues. Peter's under certain pressure to choose what sort of life he's going to have. That's a bit of a problem for him in this movie. How big is this film compared to the previous? He said 3 times. Avery Arrett said 3 times the size. No, half the size, he laughs. Here's what the major difference is between the first film and this one. We have much more complex and interesting and funny action scenes. They're huge. I think we discovered as we were working with the team and the director, we can push the envelope and do action scenes that every movie is trying to raise the ante. We have some stuff that is very unique, tense, and it's all in the story. So you don't have 2 cars crashing because it's fun. Let's blow some stuff up. It's all about the story, and it's big from the moment it opens, as we say. Now that's what I'm happy about, because at first I was like, they keep saying big, bigger, bigger, bigger. Bigger isn't always better. Okay, so then Matt Tomic says, it's also funny. We felt the need and the desire to really go to the tone of Spider-Man. It's all things. It's intense and funny. He's always so funny and self-deprecating. You mentioned earlier that you were listening to what audiences were saying and work that into the script. What word do you think they wanted more? What do you think they wanted more? Okay. Avery Arrett said, I think the audience want to know more about many aspects of Peter's life. The parents. There were scenes that were not resolved, which is a good way to do it. So first, people are saying, we didn't get the final answer. Well, there is no final answer. This is life. He's young, so by listening to that, we know we push buttons. That gives some continuity to the questions we walked away from in the last movie. You know that you wanted him to end up with a girl, but you'll remember he also made that promise. They keep talking about the promise. All these little things are like stepping stones to the miserable life of Peter Parker. The difference is that Peter has such a sense of humor about it, being self-deprecating. Even with the villains, it's trying to do what Peter would have done when Stan Lee wrote him. Matt Tomic said, look at who we have in this movie. Andrew, Emma, Jamie Foxx, Paul Giamatti, this guy Dane DeHaan, who if you haven't seen him, you'll discover him in this movie. All these people are comedically brilliant, so we found this whole other layer in the movie. When we went to the screening for the last movie, people loved those moments, the carjacker moment. They wanted more of that. We've listened to that. We've hired these incredible writers, Kurtzman and Orsi, who come from that world, the balance between big muscular action and comedy. So from the beginning, that was kind of the bar we set for ourselves. You asked what the difference is between the movies. This movie has a great script. It makes a world... He said, this movie has a great script. That's the difference. The last movie script was horrible, apparently. Anyway, it makes a world of difference when you start with an amazing script. A gutsy, funny, big script that you can go in and really implement these brilliant pages. Last time we had a good script, but this one's special, and these guys are special. Matt Tomic then said, we were finding our way on the last movie, in a way. It's one of the oldest cliches in the film business, that if you have a truly great script, it doesn't guarantee anything. But boy, is it a great way to start, because everyone's holding hands on what the film's about, and you can just build from there. It's good. That's good. Now, we're going to scroll down to something important. Talking about... Oh, okay. He said... Is this the first time producers and writers have listened closely to audiences? Is it a reflection of the times that people can give a lot of input over the internet? That's what the interviewer said. Aviera, I've been listening to audiences since Blade 2 because we started with a hardcore audience who will kill you. Not because they don't like it, but because they're afraid of what may happen. Then we started social networking, and sometimes they made a lot of sense. They can give you a very good direction to go in. When you look at the Marvel stories very specifically, because Marvel stories have everything, they, the fans who he's talking about, know what they love. You'd be insane not to take them seriously. We've been waking up in the morning and going on websites because we're living in it day in, day out. Mark Webb loves blogging. I don't know how to blog. I thought a blog was a snail. Anyway, Aviera then says, so that's the connection. They come back and react to it. We use the internet to introduce Jamie Foxx, and we find out that people are crazy about him. Matt Tomic said, it's good when people tell you you've done the right thing after you've already done it. Really good. Aviera said, Paul Giamatti is a jewel of the art house actor, and you make him this crazy villain. And again, the internet goes crazy. This gives us license to say, Paul, go crazy. Is he comedic crazy as well as villainous crazy? That's what the interviewer asked. Aviera says, oh, hilarious. Genuinely hilarious. Aviera says, hilarious. Matt Tomic says, which you've never seen before. For sure. But if he goes to a place in this movie that is just nuts, we've never seen it with anyone. And we've shot in the streets. 1,000 people are standing around, and they're cheering him. Matt Tomic says, people on the street are going crazy laughing. Is he a comic book fan, Giamatti? And then Aviera says, yeah, he wanted to be the Rhino. He was on a show, if you didn't know, a long time ago when Paul Giamatti was like, yeah, I want to be Rhino. If the Rhino's ever coming, make me Rhino. And then they made him Rhino. That's pretty cool. So now, here's the question. Here's another question. The interviewer says, can you tell me why you chose two villains? Aviera says, well, when you choose a villain, you need something visually exciting. And when you have someone like Jamie Foxx, you want to make sure the guy with the mask and the guy without the mask are delivering two different performances. So when you have a guy like that who's really unique and can play havoc with our lives, it's this that gives us the idea for the things you see in our movie. Matt Tomic said, we started thinking about Electro before we made the first Spider-Man movie. With Sam Raimi, Jim Cameron had written a treatment all the way back then, and he'd chosen Electro. Andrew flirted with it with these guys on Spider-Man 1. He's such a visual correct character. I was about to say character. What? Character. Yet at the same time, as Avi said, you want to choose a character who is visually exciting, powerful, and a foil for Spider-Man. And at the same time, he has a real crisis of morality. That makes him a good character. Max Dillon is the flip side of that. And he's also a great character in his own right. It's something we've been dreaming about for a long time. Aviera said it was an opportunity to make Max Dillon the villain. Matt Tomic said, I like that. Aviera says it was an opportunity to make Max very different from how you expect to see Jamie Foxx. More vulnerable, almost pitiful. Matt Tomic says there's real pathos in there. Aviera says it's the metaphor for being in charge of power, the electricity of the world. You pull the plug and all the life support systems go out. So that's one villain. The other villain is a big story point. You'll find that one out. Matt Tomic says the real emphasis in this movie, and we began down this road in the first one, is the continuing love story between Peter and Gwen. That is one enormous part because this movie has many components to it. It's one emotional through line for Peter. It's his problem in the movie, figuring out that relationship and taking it to a place that we've never gone before. So then he asks, can we expect love triangle with Mary Jane coming in? He says, can we expect a love triangle with Mary Jane coming in? And Aviera says, in all fairness, I think that if this movie became a love triangle, I wouldn't like Peter. He's not ready. He doesn't do love triangles, Matt Tomic says as he laughs. It's a love story with Gwen. He's too shy. A menace, a trolls wouldn't work. It really concentrates on the two of them because it's such a huge story. They're both moving into the future in a pretty complicated emotional state. He has to love her. There's 2 hours. He can't meet someone else and fall in love with her. That's the thing. There's only so much movie. And we have Electro and another villain in the movie. And this enormous love story. There's so much going on for Peter. And you have to make choices. Gwen is the part. The love story is about the two of them. Alright, so listen to this. Here's a good question. Interviewer says, is there a chance that another Marvel superhero will make a cameo in this movie? Avery Arrett, Matt Tomic, I'll repeat it, are the producers. Listen to what they said. Listen to what Avery Arrett said. Listen to this. And I quote, I'd rather not answer at this point. This is what the word spoiler means. We want to always leave the audience with a couple of surprises. All of a sudden you feel like, yeah, there's a continuity. So if we say today how we go about it, we take away from the surprise of the movie. Then the interviewer asked, shooting in New York, how hard was it to stop things getting out to the paparazzi and everything? He said, you've seen everything that's got out. They are here again today. Blah, blah, whatever. So that's pretty much it. You can read more about it in the description, but I really just went over like things to me that were very important. They also talk about reality and stuff, but you know, what I just read was stuff that really mattered to me, at least. I would like to point out something. He says, Avery Arrett says that he says, when answering the question about a Marvel superhero and whether that superhero will make a cameo, he says he'd rather not answer that at this point. He said that is what the word spoiler means. He says all of a sudden you feel like, yeah, there's a continuity. There's a continuity. Continuity to what? Continuity to what? You know what I'm thinking. You think it. You think it. You're thinking it. Is there a Marvel superhero movie? Is there a Marvel superhero in The Amazing Spider-Man 2? If so, does that mean that Amazing Spider-Man is a part of a certain cinematic universe? Now, people have been saying, no way! Sony is over here, Marvel is over here, rights are right here, rights are my head, they can't do anything because my head is in the way. And I've always said, a deal can be made with my head. And then, you know, we can just do whatever. We can just do that. We can just do that. And Sony Pictures is going to go bankrupt last year. They only had Men in Black and Spider-Man to save them. Men in Black didn't save them, so it was up to Spider-Man. Marvel was like, listen, how about you give us your rights? Because, you know, we're already friends. Just give us the merchandising rights. That's the toys and stuff. Give us the merchandising rights, and here, we'll help you out. You're not going anywhere. We got you. Here that. But how about this? How about we just, you know, we make small money. You know, we use Spider-Man. You can use Spider-Man. You know, We could be friends, you know. We could do some stuff in these movies. You know what I'm saying? Right. We put Oscorp in Avengers. Wait. Oh, no, it took too long. Dang it. Well, okay, whatever. We got you. We use Spider-Man and Avengers 2. So, you know, how about take Stark Tower? Put it in Spider-Man. Go ahead. But, you know, Tony Stark. Just take him. Go ahead. Is there a chance that another Marvel superhero will make a cameo in this movie? I'd rather not say at this point. That's, what the word spoiler means. But you will, you know, you're gonna be like, there's a continuity. So if we say today how we go about it, we take away from the surprise of the movie. That stood out, didn't it? That really just grabbed you, didn't it? It was like, it grabbed you. It grabbed you. It's comment, rate, subscribe. Hit the subscribe on the way you can stay in tuned for the Spider-Man news. We go in depth. We analyze things, okay? We analyze things, okay? We go into detail. We use our mental brain power, our comic book knowledge, our fan wisdom. We all collectively help each other out. We talk about these things. We love it. We subscribe. That way you can be a part of this community. Be a part of it, okay? Guys. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Also, I want to point out something else. He mentioned Paul Giamatti, right? Paul Giamatti talking about him, right? Then he says there's two villains in this movie. Electro and another villain. We know that Rhino is only in this movie for like 4 scenes, something like that. He's hardly in this movie. He mentioned Paul Giamatti. Never mentioned the Rhino. We already know that Rhino is Paul Giamatti. They mentioned Gwen Stacy and how Peter made this promise. Peter who wants to have all of these things. And then they also say that, but sometimes you can't have everything you want. This movie's about, you know, we're trying to make Peter's life horrible, you know, make stuff like that, right? They kept saying that. They said there's Electro and another villain. They didn't say Rhino. They said another villain. You know what I'm talking about. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, thank you guys for watching. I thank you for watching. I thank you for subscribing. I thank you for liking. I thank you for sharing. I thank you for this excitement. Do you feel it? You don't? Well, I hope you do. You do. You feel it. I feel the energy. So I thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, that we can stay in tuned. And peace out. Oh, like me on Facebook, guys. I've been asking questions. I'll be talking to you guys on Facebook. This person post. Let me give you a shout out. Okay, Ismail, I'm gonna butcher your name. Ismail. Him, okay, he posted this proving, hold on, can you see? I hope you can. Okay, he posted this proving that's Harry Osborn. The hair, Harry Osborn. That was Harry Osborn laying down. That's Harry Osborn. Like I said, Aviary and Matt Tomic said another villain. They mentioned Gwen Stacy. They mentioned that you can't have everything you want sometimes. Harry Osborn. That is Harry Osborn. It's proof. Check out my Facebook. Check out the picture. Like me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. Venom time went up today. Watch that. It's very, very angry. It made me angry. And that's it, guys. I love you all. I'm excited. I am really excited. You can expect more videos. Expect them, because they're coming. Peace out, guys. Later. Peace. Direct upload.